Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome to this episode of Mugscast.
What if episode number 9? That's what we're
So
talking about
this
today.
one is, this one is called, I believe it's like, what if the Watcher,
The Watcher
broke his oath?
oath. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, right off the bat, I'm just gonna say, this is the payoff. This is the reason to watch the show. This is the build up, the hype. This is exactly what you want.
Yeah, they definitely followed through with all of it. I mean, the individual universes didn't get continutions necessarily,
but they will.
Right.
I have a feeling they will, especially Captain Carter's. But so let's just get right into it. I mean, it starts off with Captain Carter in Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier about to jump on the boat.
Like right there, it's a tell. You know something's coming up.
Right.
And so she goes to fight. I can't remember his name right now. They did say it.
Batroc.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, in this is just he's just a freak. He's like hee woo. Yeah, he's super weird. Like
he's very
in
weird.
This universe. Yeah, there's some great action again with her and the Shield taking out guys.
Yeah.
Really like. I think she has some of the best animated action in the whole series.
To be fair, the animation extremely grew on me by the end of the series. So I love the animation. I really do. So it's funny because she's fighting him and he hits her with the same line he hit Steve. Oh, you're nothing without the shield. And so she puts the shield.
I can dance.
Yeah, she's like, I can dance a little too. And then she's like, do you see that? And it's the Watcher. And he's like, Captain Carter, you have been chosen. And then we go over to, which is nice to see, a continuation of like Star-Lord's. I think it's Star-Lord. It's next. Star-Lord T'Challa.
Yep. Ego and
yep.
Changing Peter.
Yep, and he saves
in
Peter.
This universe, I guess Peter doesn't even really know what's going on, so he's just like, all right, I'm going to do this now.
Yep, and so he ends up saving Peter. And then he's like, what is it that he says? Oh, the giant baby head in the sky or whatever, and he's like, oh, Star-Lord T'Challa, you have been chosen. And then they jump to the most interesting
universe we have not seen.
Yeah, that one actually blew my mind, which looks very interesting. Yeah, it looks interesting as hell.
Kind of like a maybe sort of a universe where we get Tony with the Guardians as it kind of is in the comics. But it seems says like Thanos had the gauntlet and did everything, but Gamora killed him, and they're disposing of the gauntlet right there.
Terminator style.
Right. Yeah.
But then we get hit with the line.
Doesn't Tony have like? It almost looks like he has
like a super badass suit.
Right, but there's markings on it. I thought that looked like something out of like Ragnarok, like in the arena. But I don't know.
But I didn't take a good look at that one because I was like super surprised by like the fact that it's even there. I was like, what universe is this? Like I was trying to figure out what universe.
I was like, wait, did I forget something?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. I was like, did I miss an episode? But we didn't. That's on purpose. And it's funny because like Stark says, oh, we need a suit around the world. Well, around the universe, and it's just like, oh shit, like.
Well, little do you know.
Yeah. And then, so the Watcher shows up, and the Watcher's like, oh, Gamora, you've been chosen. Gamora, defeater of Thanos, you have been chosen. And Stark interrupts. He's like, no, not you, Stark. Gamora, and like so he takes Gamora. And then who's next?
Killmonger.
Yes.
So they're running in Pepper and Shuri and no suit.
No suits. Yeah,
I was gonna say
it's a gun.
I don't know. I still don't know where you got the idea of it being a suit from.
I thought they were gonna make some kind of suit, to be honest with you.
But I guess it was just a fat gun, I guess, for Pepper.
Yep.
Which I don't even know why that was really necessary, to be honest. They were all running in there with weapons to begin with. I don't know why. And why give it to Pepper of all people?
Yeah, out of all people,
but whatever, they did their thing.
Yeah,
it didn't matter anyway, I guess.
And it's funny because the way they portrayed it, and it bugs me a little bit, right? They were kind of weird about it because he pulled them from their universes, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you think that without them there, obviously their universe is going to continue. But it doesn't?
No, because, probably, but he's using, quote-unquote, time travel probably when he puts them back.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
He's just resetting everything.
But then that kind of breaks. Doesn't matter. We're not going to get into that because, Jesus, if we got to tell how many times, like, it breaks the MCU, like, thing, it's going to blow our fucking minds. But
Thor.
Yep.
Now, he's taking out Ultron bots, so Ultron has found his planet.
Yep, and he's fully embraced Vegas as a planet. He loves it.
Yes, Vegas as a planet, and he's completely oblivious to the Watcher because he's so focused on killing the bot.
And I love the Watcher.
Calm down, dude.
Yeah, he's like Thor. He's like. You've been he's like, and then he finds his irritated and he grabs him, bro. And he's like, Thor, you've been chosen. And Thor's yelling and fucking boom, he ends up in the pub.
Yep. And then this is Doctor Strange is there.
Yes.
He's fashioned to the pub after what he thought Carter would like, which is interesting, I guess. Why I don't know why.
That's a character he resonated with the most, to be honest with you. I
suppose so.
Like that's for sure.
That's a good point. Yeah, losing.
From losing his love. Yep.
And then we get, the revelation that they're being called the Guardians of the Multiverse, and they're, gonna stop.
Yep. And
Ultron.
They have a nice little back and forth at the pub. It's they go over plans and blah blah blah. It's not really anything super deep to get into.
She brings up the Infinity Crusher, which is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. And then it makes me laugh because Thor makes it very clear, I have a way of getting unwanted attention. Okay, I just want to make sure we have to throw that out there. It's important.
Right, and then they go to this uninhabited, lifeless planet
that Ultron does not think is even worth going to. And so they're having a very nice moment. They're talking, blah blah blah. They all have some drinks, and then Thor gets very excited and he shoots his lightning into the air.
Strange at some point in there, he's having a little trouble. You can see he's having trouble holding back.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
Shumagorath and the rest of the everything that he absorbed.
Yeah,
but yeah, then Thor alerts Ultron and shows up again as like another Galactus type deal. Shows up in the sky and then actually teleports in. And he just what happens? Thor tries to blast him, and then he just grabs it. He's like no, and then he collapses everything, but they survive it because we forgot to mention as well. Doctor Strange gave them a enchantment to protect them all.
I think you mean the MVP of this episode. Bro, he's amazing. I really like this Doctor Strange a lot. Like he's been through a lot, but he's not evil like we thought at all. He's really nice.
He's just Doctor Strange,
but
he
broken
has more
though. But he's broken. Yeah, he's broken.
I mean, he is, but in this episode, you don't really see it that much. I mean, he's the same. If we had the regular Doctor Strange with these abilities, I don't think so.
Yeah, he's like
he's exactly the way Doctor Strange was in Infinity War. He's like, you didn't want me to do this. I've got to do this. It's like exactly the same way. He's not cracking jokes in Infinity War when they're fighting Thanos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I think you wouldn't have noticed the difference, but it is cool to have, knowing, his backstory, to have in your mind, what's riding on this for him. Like,
yeah.
Like what he feels like he has to do to
save everything else.
Save everything else, but also to kind of, ease his conscience for what he did.
Oh yeah, repent.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, so then they fall down, and Ultron hits us with the Darth Vader. He goes, all too easy. I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, what? They're actually not dead.
Yeah. You know what's funny? His voice grew on me this episode a lot.
Yeah.
Ultron's voice, it grew on me. But yeah, so, they have their little moment, and he got like you said, he got cocky. He goes to walk away. Like, he can't because they're still alive. And he's like, oh, I defeat, plenty of you guys easier than this.
Yeah, it's weird.
And so, who is it? Killmonger and is it
Star-Lord, I think, go through the portal?
Yeah, two of them leave. And no, it's not Star-Lord. It's not Star-Lord. Because Star-Lord does something important later. It's Killmonger.
I thought.
No, he steals the Time Stone. Or the Soul Stone. He steals the Soul Stone, so he stayed in that fight.
But I thought the portal just sent them somewhere else on the planet. Where did they? You're saying they
went
somewhere else
because
entirely?
Killmonger. Oh, Killmonger and Gamora. They left to go to Black Widow's Earth. They didn't stay and fight.
Why?
I don't know. I think that was part of the plan. I think they were getting them out of the way because what they were trying to do is steal one at a time and jump through the portal because that's exactly what they were supposed to do. It looks like. I think that was part of the plan, but it was ruined because she said, "Hey, the plan, stick to it," and he didn't stick to it. But we get some amazing shit because Thor takes his hammer, he throws it, and you're just thinking, okay, whatever, it's just his hammer. Ultron's gonna dodge it. But then, again, the MVP of this episode multiplies that hammer. Oh, it's so cool,
100,000 times,
dude! And that fucking thing just starts battering Ultron, and then you have, Captain Carter, and she her and Star-Lord work together. Star-Lord lifts her up into the air, and she tackles him because she gets thrown, and then she takes the hammer back to land. And then fucking Star-Lord lands on him, and he's like, gotcha, and then so he gets thrown. but you see that he takes the stone. You can actually see it. You physically are able to see that he takes the stone, the Soul Stone specifically. Ultron doesn't notice.
They start going through the portal, and Doctor Strange pulls out this like huge, massive triple dragon flame breathing head thing that he has.
Yep.
And then, possibly maybe one of my favorite moments in the episode, he drops in the zombies.
Yes, dude.
I loved that.
All of them. They just all pile on top of him.
That was so cool.
And he's like, oh, zombies! I love that. He's like, oh, it's not the zombies that I brought him; it's what comes with them. And it's Scarlet. And you
Scarlet
think
Witch.
for a moment,
insane. The first like moment that it showed her, I was like, whoa, this is about to be big. But then it wasn't.
Yeah.
But still,
it wasn't at all. It was like a complete subversion. It was like you think like they're about to have this badass like thing, and like she hits him and does nothing, and he's just like, boom, and it just wipes everything away. And just basically comes right behind him in the portal.
And then they bump in. They toss the stone over to whoever, and Nat interrupts them and catches it.
Yep. She has a very nice heartfelt moment with Captain Carter.
Because they're good friends on her universe.
Yeah, BFFs as she puts it. But then then
Ultron comes through.
When we get some really badass moments, like dude, they're just wailing on Ultron, like absolutely sort of shitting on him.
Yeah, they are. And then there's the point where Ultron's just like, nah, like enough of this. Which I was thinking the whole time, like this is like they've previously set up that like he can just kind of like think about it, and like multiple planets will explode all at one time. Yes, so this is a little bit tough. But then he does that.
Yes,
and Doctor Strange just
rewinds.
He just eats it.
He rewinds it. He rewinds.
No, he doesn't. No, he you can see him. He takes the energy in his hand and then he literally eats it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry,
he absorbs
it. Yes, he does. He absorbs it because he
takes all the energy and like balls it into his hand. He's like, little snack.
Yeah, he eats it. You're right.
I was like, whoa, that's an unbelievable amount of like energy that he had to just
digest. But even cooler is
he did reverse it, I guess, as well, because it happened. But then he took the energy from reversing it and then ate it.
Yeah, but the cool thing is like, they're fighting again, and then they all get time stopped. But then Doctor Strange starts fighting. And you're like, oh, I guess he can just, he doesn't care about time. But then I started to remember, wait, his whole episode was based on time. He knows how to traverse through time. Well, he had a time stone the whole time.
Yes, which is interesting, and we forgot to mention this as well in the last episode. But if I'm not mistaken, at least in most of the comics, you can't use one universe's Infinity Stones in another universe. They just don't work. But in this, not the case.
Nope.
Time Stone works here. Ultron's hopping universes, doing whatever he wants. Yep. It's like no holds barred. It's the Wild West.
Yeah,
but there is also.
Honestly, it's a good thing. It's a good thing they did it this way. It would be more fun.
Yeah, that's kind of carries the whole thing, is that he can use it in that way. But there's also that before this, there's just that great, I believe it's before that. Yeah, it's just this great revolving like one take of them just hitting him from every side, and it goes on for like a minute and a half.
Amazingly
2 minutes of just
animated. It's so
smacking him left, right, like going around. Everybody's getting their moment. Yep. Really fantastic stuff.
Yep. They pin him down and they start to shred the stones, and then he starts to laugh and he's like, "Oh, you guys are foolish because each stone has their own property in the universes." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, this tool was only meant to destroy my Infinity Stones and my planet,
right,
or on my world,
which
it doesn't work." Yeah, it's
all right. It's a little bit of a weak explanation. I was actually thinking, based off of the fact that the Infinity Stones work in different universes, I thought he was about to be like, I've got another set. That's what I thought he was about to do.
That's what I thought he was going to do.
Would have been better, I think.
That, or he had made a clone of himself that was extremely realistic, just to see how he would fare against them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, something else. But no, it's the machine didn't work. I was like, they have
two different atoms in those Infinity Stones that can't be destroyed.
That's dumb. They could have made it where he could have. He has the Infinity Stones. He could have just made a clone of himself, or like you said, a separate set.
Mm-hmm.
Which
actually, now that I think about it, I guess you assume she used that thing on Thanos in their universe. Now that I think about it, that must be how they did it.
No, for sure, that has to have been because the stones were destroyed. They buried the gauntlet, or they burnt the gauntlet by itself. No stones.
Melted it.
Yeah.
But and then Doctor Strange, once he gets back up, he unleashes Shumagorath like fully, like the tentacles on him. And actually, this is before that, I believe, because
no, this is after, because
no,
this is
it is before, because
I've
got the notes in chronological order. He unleashes Shumagora, then they start pinning him down, and I wrote it's like a very similar situation to Infinity War, because they've got him all pinned down. They're like, do it, do it, do it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody hold him, and everybody's like got their role to hold him down in one way or another while they try to get to the Infinity Stones. Then all that happens. He gets back, and then this is when they kind of get blown back, and Nat's like, "Oh, the Zola arrow," as she like sees it next to the bike, and she gets Carter to help her out with it. Basically, she's like, "You go this way, I'll go that way. I got something for him, or whatever." And she gets the arrow, gets on the bike, and she like takes off, does like a jump, and then you see her pull out a bow. She kept. I mean, how did she get his bow though? Didn't he have it with him? Did she go back?
Probably went back.
Yeah, I guess
she probably went back,
yeah.
Or she has just another extra bow for him.
Maybe, yeah. So she pulls it out and does just the most perfect shot I've ever seen in my life. And
the teamwork between her and Captain Carter.
Yeah, Carter pulls back his visor so that it's just the vision
right in the eye.
Yep, straight through the eye. And the only problem I have with this is like, isn't the whole thing about Vision and like I guess it's different though, because it is Ultron. Yeah, I guess it's different because Ultron is just kind of but like, isn't the Mind Stone, like, isn't most of it the Mind Stone? Like, isn't that where most of the consciousness remains, not the actual like robot body?
Yeah, kind of.
At least that's the way it is for Vision. Vision's brain essentially is the Mind Stone, so you can't infect the Mind Stone with a virus.
You can't affect the Mind Stone, but you can affect the robot and still use the Mind Stone as a consciousness. Because the consciousness doesn't come from the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone just powers it up completely.
But the consciousness does come from the Mind Stone, because if you remove the Mind Stone, you remove Vision.
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole point? Is that in WandaVision, Vision is like basically remnants of Mind Stone energy. That's how she brings him back. Like, he is the Mind Stone.
Kind of how they put it, but
his consciousness.
Yeah, yes and no, because in fucking Age of Ultron that we just watched, it's just a body, and then they have to put a host, which ends up being Jarvis, and then it becomes Vision mixed with the Mind Stone, but they have to put up something in it, which ends up being Jarvis. So it still needs something in there.
I suppose so.
So it still ends up being Jarvis, but it's made with the Mind Stone. The body is made with the Mind Stone, but Jarvis is what powers up the rest of the suit, aka Ultron doing the same thing.
No, the body's not made with the Mind
Stone. It's not made with the Mind Stone, but that's what powers up the suit, basically. Like, that's not where the consciousness comes from. Ultron is
that is where the consciousness comes from. That is where Vision's consciousness is stored. Otherwise, if you pull the stone out of his head, and like, because Scarlet Witch takes energy from the Mind Stone, and his consciousness is there. That's how she makes him in WandaVision.
Yes, I think it's because at that point he melded with the Mind Stone. But don't forget, that's Jarvis. Jarvis,
well, the point they're making in WandaVision is that the body, like, they're two separate things, essentially. Like, his true consciousness, like his actual feelings and everything, like him as like a person, is the Mind Stone.
Yes.
The body is like a whole different thing of just like technical, like memories and like the ability to speak.
They still uploaded him into the Mind Stone though. Like, the Mind Stone was empty before Vision was into it, but because Vision was never put into it, it was Ultron. That's what happened. So when they infected it, you just uploaded something new that overwrote Ultron, which is Zola. So it's still the same concept.
Shouldn't the Mind Stone be able to insert control over the body? Like,
maybe,
if you
affect
the body with Zola, shouldn't the Mind Stone still be able to? It's an Infinity Stone. Shouldn't it still be able to be like, nah, I can control this body?
I mean, possibly, but I don't know, because it still needs some kind of like proper host type. Like, we're questioning it too much.
Yeah, maybe so.
Right. We're questioning
fair enough. Yeah, so anyway, Zola arrow, he's in there. He's like, I got you. I'm going to kill you. You took away Hydra or whatever.
And he succeeds.
He does succeed. And then
the body crashes.
Yes. And they take they don't take the Infinity Stones. It's just sitting there.
I honestly thought somebody was going to quickly come and grab it, but no.
Yeah, I was like, guys, come on. Like, we need to.
Yeah, I literally kept you guys sitting. I was like, you're just going to let us sit there? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then Killmonger stands over him. And he uses. Oh, we forgot to say earlier in the episode, he's been having this Ultron head on. He's been carrying with him, and so he starts to use that to basically control the suit and put it on himself.
Yes.
And he takes 5 of the stones. He doesn't take 6. He takes 5 of the stones. He can't take the 6th stone. It's integrated into Vision, Ultron,
right.
whatever. So he takes 5 of the stones, and he's like, the Watcher owes us this. He's like, how? He's like, Carter, wouldn't you like to go back to your time, or Strange fix your universe? And clearly they're not down for it. They know that this does not lead in the right direction, especially Strange.
So they kind of like bite back at him, and then he starts to activate it a little bit of his power, and you kind of hear a subtle little bit of his like Killmonger's theme play underneath that as he starts to do it, which I liked. And then Ultron Zola gets back up, and he's got the stomach face, classic, and he starts trying to grab the Infinity Stones as well.
They start to basically have a tug of war for these 5 stones.
Yes, and Doctor Strange is like, now wait a second. We weren't like, let's just get rid of this. Like, this is the whole goal to begin with, was to get rid of the stones.
He said to basically keep the stones away from somebody's hands. So he's like, we don't need to win. He's like, we just need to keep the stones away. So he freezes them in their own little baby universe.
It seems like so the episode's called What If Doctor Strange? What if the Watcher broke his oath, right?
Yeah.
But his breaking his oath was just assembling
the team. Yeah.
Right. So him helping here isn't like anything more. Like, he's already broken his oath, so he just kind of shows up and helps him finish it. It was a little weird though. I found it weird. Like, it's just like Doctor Strange starts doing it, and then there's like 2 seconds of the Watcher like showing up, like just a quick cut to him, and I'm like, okay, they could have maybe like shown him like float in or something. Like, it was just a little abrupt.
Yeah,
and then be like, oh, I'm gonna help him or something. It's a little abrupt, but he does it, and then he puts them in a pocket dimension.
Yep, and Strange is the Watcher for them permanently.
He what, sir?
He is the Watcher of them permanently. Like, If he doesn't really have a universe and he's just sitting in his, he's given, their little pocket dimension, and he's like,
how does that work though? Like, when you think about it, because are they just going to perpetually be fighting? Like, neither of them is ever like, because if one of them gets the stones, they can break out so easily.
I think they're kind of frozen in time because nothing's moving in that little bubble. So I think it's just frozen. But eventually they could end up breaking free, which is why he said if you see a crack or anything, you have to let me know.
But then I saw they're all sitting there in New York, like, oh, like or wherever they're. I assume they're in New York, just toward New York, because behind them, and I could be reaching here, but behind them, when they're like looking up at the sun, there's like a broken sign that says SH, and I feel like that's like the shawarma sign, but I could be wrong.
Possibly.
That's the vibe that I got from it. Because they're saying like they're in that same spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the first 2 letters, but like, what else would that be? I mean, I guess it could be a few other things, but that feels like the most likely.
Yep, and then he teleports them all back to the pub.
Back to the pub, baby.
And he tells them, "Hey, I'm going to drop you guys back off where I took you from." So
exactly where you left, same time and everything.
And so everybody leaves except Widow.
Well, Carter also.
Oh yes, sorry, yes, that's important.
She's like, can't you like do something nice for me? Like, come on. And I love that he's like, no. But then Widow, he's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, like he's like, because he knows what's happening. He knows what's going to happen with Carter. She like, we'll talk about it here in a second because something does happen. But he's like, no. He's like, this world needs you. This world needs Captain Carter.
That's true.
So then,
but the other world doesn't. To
be fair, yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair, she, Captain Carter. She's like, all right, cool. She just jumps out. He tells, hey, Black Widow, you gotta go back to your time. She's like, can't you do anything for me? She's like, I'm not walking through those doors. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, this is just an illusion anyway, so I don't even have to worry about it. He breaks it, and when he breaks it, she's surrounded by she's on a helicarrier. She's surrounded by this fighting, and she's like, where are we? And he's like, yeah, we're in a world where Widow has died. So, voila. And he basically puts her there.
Yeah.
Which is, again, him breaking his oath.
Right.
He interrupts.
Dude, imagine how you saying that just kind of like thought, like, imagine if it was our universe. Yeah. And then they're like, she's back.
That's exactly like
it's crazy, bro. In an animated show, they're like, oh yeah, she's alive now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They can easily do that now.
They could.
That could be a thing.
It's so good.
There's a million ways they could bring it back from the dead, but this is just one of them.
This is. But here's the thing that blows my mind, right? Again, I stick by this. This is 100% the Watcher's origin story. I do feel like we will see him in the MCU because he made it very clear at the end of this episode, before the credits roll, his exact words were, and they emphasized on this. He said, "Oh, I'm the watcher of all universes, and I love all universes, including the MCU. So I have a feeling at some point he will be." I'm telling you, bro. The way he said that.
You said it like, and he said, and I quote, "I love all universes, including the MCU."
That's not what I mean. That includes the MCU. Yeah. We're seeing him in the MCU. There's no
Imagine it if he was just like, and also the MCU, like looks directly at the camera.
Yeah, he gives like a nice little wink. Yeah, like a nice little wink and a finger gun.
Wink, wink. Wait till you see the next movie. Anyway. But yeah, though, I did like that when, like, before he sent that back, she just absolutely craps on him. She's like, "You are awful. Yeah. You just sit here and watch us for entertainment while we die and fight and do all this stuff." Like but she's right though. He's awful. Like, all he ever does is sit back and watch people die for eternity. You assume, like, forever.
Yep.
And he never intervenes until now. And then she's like, "Well, can't you just do this for me once?" And he's like, "No, I absolutely can't." And she's like, and she's like, "Well, I'm not walking out the door." And he's like, "Okay." And then he does it anyway. I don't know what that was about.
To be fair, he didn't fix that world. He just put her in one where she wasn't.
Well, no. We're right. But that's still like,
it's intervening, but it's not as bad. He's replacing one person as opposed to replacing a whole universe.
I mean, I guess, but I don't know.
That universe is gone, bro. Ultron literally destroyed everything in that universe before he started jumping to other universes. So that's literally a white planet.
Yeah, and then we get our post credits.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I was about to say, I'm gonna make sure you stayed for it.
Of course I did. That's why I said this is the payoff later for Winter Soldier because.
Yep.
On the boat. Like, "Oh, you're gonna want to see this." Yeah, on the boat. And she's like, "You don't want to see this," and just, they walk up to this container, and it's the Hydra Stomper, and Natasha flat out's like, "There's somebody inside." And then, if you listened very closely, Captain America's theme plays, boom, and then the episode ends.
Done. Oh, yeah, I did. I did hear it, but it didn't register in my brain. But as soon as I got up, I went and used the bathroom, and I was just humming to myself like, dun, 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 dun.
It played.
It didn't even register me with it played, but it still got stuck in my head somehow.
It was like this very subtle Steve Rogers theme, and then boom, I was like, yes, which means they already have a season 2 ready, and we're gonna see more of this. I know we are, and I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was great. This was really good. Strong finale.
Yes. So it's funny because at first, you remember, we both said, I don't know how we're feeling about this.
For the first 3, not 3.
Yeah,
this first 2.
The
third one I was on board.
Third one I was like, oh, this is good, but still, I'm still not like, oh, I gotta get on this. By the fourth one though, I was like, I can't wait for the next episode. And dude, by the last 2, we were like, yo, this is really good. But yeah, this was a slow start. It was on purpose though. They did build it up to something great, and it was amazing. I loved it. Honestly, if they made this as a movie, it'd be so cool to watch.
Yeah,
with the actors.
Yeah. Well, I would say overall for the series, I'd say a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would rate it. 8 out of 10 for sure.
Huge potential for wherever they go forward, for sure.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. It's a great show. If anybody gets a chance to watch it, please do. It's worth it.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. So we'll just, I guess that's it.
Just end the episode right here. And
it was great.
We'll see you guys when we start reviewing Hawkeye. Can't wait for that.
Okay, yeah, adios.